I'm here today with Liz Snyder from Hillside Garden Landscaping. And Liz, you're going to share some flowering shrubs that look great in a landscape right now. What do you have for us?
Well, the first one that I want to show is a plant that I featured earlier this spring, and that is the Bloomerang Lilac. That blooms when normal lilacs bloom earlier in the spring, and it's kind of a dwarf form. It doesn't get real tall. It has a wonderful fragrance and just kind of a dainty petite flower. And the reason they call it Bloomerang is once it's done with that first bloom, you can cut off all those spent flowers and it kind of goes dormant for a little bit, and then you get this reflush and you get that second bloom. Well, now we're enjoying that second bloom, and it is as many blossoms as it was in the spring. It's as fragrant as it was in the spring, so it's like you get lilacs all over again, which is great. And after this bloom, we have a plant here in our test trial gardens at Hillside Garden Landscaping where we cut those off after the second summer bloom, and we'll get a third one in October, which is really neat. So it's fun to see a plant that kind of blooms more than once and you can enjoy it over and over. So I'm really loving the second bloom of that right now.
Definitely. Very pretty too. What other shrubs would you like to share with us?
Hydrangeas are gorgeous right now. They're really starting to color up. The first one that I'm showing here is called Pinky Winky, kind of a fun name. That's a Panicle Hydrangea, so it's got a real cone-shaped flower to it. It's a little woodier, making it slightly more deer-resistant than the macrophylla types. It opens kind of a lime green, and then it goes to a snow white. And then in the second photo I'm showing, it starts to turn different dusty shades of pink. And ultimately at the end of fall, because that's going to bloom for months now, that will be a deep, deep rose color. So it changes as it goes along, which is kind of fun. And I'm showing a third photo too of limelight hydrangea, which is a really great standard one that we use around here. There's two different varieties that are very popular. Little lime is a dwarf that gets kind of in the 3 to 4 foot range, and regular limelight can be 6, 8. If you never prune it again, it could get, even taller than that. But they kind of, again, open up a lime green, then to a white, and end up a dusty pink. And this is really the time of year where hydrangeas shine.
Any others that you want to share with us?
Rosa Sharon is really starting, there's a lot of different varieties of that as well, and some open earlier than others. So we're seeing some start to color up, and the one that I'm sharing is called Blue Satin. It's been along for a long time, and it's kind of a nice purple blue color, and then in the interior of those flowers it gets just a little bit of purpley pink, which is kind of nice. And they're very tropical looking. Rosa Sharon is a type of perennial hibiscus that grows well in our area, so it's got that real kind of tropical look, and it just gives some great color in the garden for mid to late summer into fall.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liz, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm Liz Snyder, your home gardener from Hillside Garden Landscaping.
You can watch Home Gardener every week only on Around the Tiers. And for today's segment and to find out more, head to WBNG.com, click on Around the Tiers, and select Home Gardener from the drop-down menu. And thanks for watching a shortened edition of Around the Tiers. Stay tuned. We'll have a final check of your weather, and 12 News at Noon wraps up next.